If you're over 40 and you feel 10, 15 years behind on retirement, I want you to remember one number from today: 24,500. Your 401k limit didn't just go up for 2026. It quietly changed the math of your entire retirement. And whether you feel stuck at 5% contributions, or you've never really understood what maxing out even means, this new rule gives you something you haven't had in a long time: leverage. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly why the $24,500 limit is a turning point, not a headline. We'll walk through how much you can now shelter, how catch-up contributions work if you're 50 or older, and how late starters can compress 20 years of saving into their next 10-15 with a simple, rule-based system. No hype, no fantasy numbers, just adult math and calm strategy. As we go, I want you to answer one question in the comments. How much of your income are you actually contributing to your 401k right now? Your real percentage, not your goal. Keep that number in your head. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly what that number needs to become and why this $24,500 rule just changed everything about your retirement timeline. Most adults in their 40s and 50s are living inside a quiet illusion. I have a 401k, I'm contributing, so I must be on track. You get enrolled when you start a job. Maybe HR nudges you to put in 3%. There's a vague promise of a company match. You click a default investment option and move on with your life. 10, 15, 20 years pass. You get promotions, maybe kids, a mortgage. Your income goes up, but your contribution default quietly stays frozen at that same 3, 4, or 5%. Then one day you log in and see a number that doesn't match your age. You're 45, 50, maybe 55, and the balance feels like it belongs to someone in their early 30s. This is not because you're lazy or irresponsible. It's because the entire system is designed around what's comfortable today, not what's required for your future. Auto-enrollment and low defaults are built to avoid scaring employees, not to optimize your retirement. So when a rule like the $24,500 limit arrives, most people see it as abstract policy. Cool, the government changed something. In reality, for late starters, this is one of the few times the rules tilt in your favor, if you know how to adjust your settings. The rest of this video is about turning that illusion into a system you control. Let's get specific. What does the $24,500 rule actually mean? In 2026, the maximum employee contribution you can put into a traditional or Roth 401k is $24,500 per year if you're under 50. That's your part, what you can choose to defer from your paycheck. If you're 50 or older, you also have access to catch-up contributions, which add an extra layer on top of that base limit. We'll break that down in a moment. On top of your own contribution, your employer can also put money in through a match, profit sharing, or other contributions. There's a total combined cap for what you and your employer can put in together, which is much higher. But for now, we're focusing on what you can personally control, your piece of the funnel. Here's why this number matters so much. When contribution limits go up, your potential tax shelter expands. You're being allowed to take more of your current income, shield it from taxes today, and put it inside a container where it can grow for decades. If you're behind, your problem isn't that markets haven't returned enough. It's usually that you haven't consistently put enough in. The $24,500 rule increases the size of the pipe. The question is, how much of that new space will you actually use? I want to pause and do what I call a psychological audit. This is where you get honest with yourself about your current settings. If you're comfortable, grab a piece of paper or just open the Notes app on your phone. Write down 3 numbers. 1, your age. 2, your current 401k contribution percentage. 3, your employer match percentage if you have one. If you don't know these numbers, that's the first signal. Most adults are driving their largest financial vehicle with the dashboard turned off. Now ask yourself, am I only contributing enough to get the match? Have I increased my percentage as my income has gone up? Or has it been sitting at the same level for years? 2 psychological biases usually show up here. The first is status quo bias. It's working, so I'll just leave it. The second is present bias. The brain heavily discounts future comfort compared to the small hit to today's paycheck. This is why so many people stay at 4-6% forever. It feels responsible, but it's usually not enough. Keep those numbers in front of you. As we walk through how the $24,500 rule works for different ages, I want you to see, concretely, how far your current behavior is from what's possible and from what your future self will actually need. The natural reaction when you hear $24,500 is, there's no way I can afford that. And for many people, maxing out immediately is not realistic. That's okay. The goal is not perfection, it's leverage. Think of the new limit as the top of a dial. You may not be able to turn it all the way to 10 right now, but you can absolutely move it from 2 to 4 or from 5 to 8 in a deliberate way. Let's say you're 45, earning $90,000 a year, and you're currently contributing 5%. That's $4,500 a year. With the new limit, your ceiling is now $24,500. You are using less than 20% of the allowed space. What if over the next 24 months you built a rule for yourself? Every 6 months, increase your contribution by 1 to 2% until you reach 12 to 15%. That alone could more than double or triple what you're putting in without one huge shock to your budget. For a 50-year-old, the effect is even more dramatic because catch-up contributions stack on top of this. The $24,500 rule isn't a command to hit the max tomorrow. It's an invitation to install a new default. My contribution percentage rises over time, on purpose. Instead of waiting for extra money to appear, you pre-commit to using this higher limit as a staircase. Now let's talk about where this rule becomes truly powerful. After age 50. Once you hit 50, you're allowed to make what are called catch-up contributions to your 401k. These are extra amounts you can contribute beyond the standard limit, specifically to help people who are closer to retirement accelerate their savings. So you have the base limit of $24,500. On top of that, you get an additional catch-up allowance. Depending on final IRS adjustments, that catch-up might be around $8,000 or more. That means a 52-year-old could potentially defer well over $30,000 of salary into their 401k each year. For a late starter, this is not a trivia detail. This is your compression tool. You might not have contributed seriously in your 20s and 30s, but your 50s can become the decade where you deliberately overload the system. Here's the psychology challenge. Our 50s are also when lifestyle tends to be most expensive. Kids in school, aging parents, housing upgrades. Present bias screams, "Not now, I'll increase later." But the math doesn't care. Every year you delay using your catch-up window is a year you can never get back. The rule exists. The door is open. The question is whether you'll treat it as a temporary gift or a piece of trivia you heard once in a video. Now I want to ground this rule in a man's story. Let's call him David. David is 52, earns about $95,000 a year, and works in operations. For 2 decades, he did what most adults do. He set his 401k at 6% when he started, got a 4% match, and never touched the settings again. He felt responsible. "I'm contributing, I'm getting the match, I'm fine." Then one evening, his wife logged into her own 401k. She had quietly increased her contributions over the years and used catch-up contributions the moment she turned 50. Her balance was almost $180,000 higher than his. Same age, similar incomes, very different dials. Instead of panicking, David did what you're doing now. He learned the new $24,500 limit, looked up his catch-up allowance, and ran the numbers. If he slowly increased his contribution over the next 8-10 years, he could push an extra low 6 figures into his 401k. He didn't jump to the max overnight. He built a staircase, plus 2% this year, plus 2% next year, another plus 1% after his next raise. Each step hurt a little for a few months, then became the new normal. The rule didn't magically make him rich. It simply gave him a bigger container, and he finally chose to fill it on purpose. Let's zoom out from contribution space and look at taxes across your life. When you put money into a traditional 401k, you're shifting income from taxed today into taxed later. If you're in a 24% bracket and you contribute $15,000, you avoid $3,600 of tax this year. With a $24,500 ceiling, the amount you can legally move each year just expanded. For late starters, that expansion matters. You may only have 10-20 working years left. Higher limits mean more years where you can deliberately reduce current taxable income and build a larger tax-deferred base. Roth 401k flips the timing. You pay tax now, contributions still fall under the same $24,500 limit, but future withdrawals are tax-free if you follow the rules. Used properly, this rule lets you shape how much of your retirement income is taxable versus tax-free. Most people never map this out. They think in terms of, can I afford this contribution, rather than, how does this change my lifetime tax bill? The rule is not just a savings opportunity, it's a tax planning opportunity. You can tilt more of your future self's income into lower tax years or into tax-free buckets simply by using more of the space that now exists. If this all sounds logical, why doesn't everyone do it? Your biggest opponent is not the IRS. It's your own wiring. Present bias makes today's comfort feel far more real than tomorrow's security. Increasing your contribution by 3% may be the difference between future freedom and working into your 70s, but your brain only feels less money this paycheck. Loss aversion exaggerates that feeling. Seeing a smaller net pay feels like a loss, even though that money didn't vanish. It moved into your future. Then lifestyle creep quietly eats whatever raises you get. You promise yourself you'll increase your 401k after this next promotion, but the extra income gets absorbed by housing, cars, subscriptions, kids' activities. The dial never moves. The system doesn't fight these biases, it cooperates with them. Auto-enrollment defaults are set low to be painless, not optimal. Your 401k page rarely nags you to raise your percentage. The $24,500 rule gives you new capacity, but your default psychology will ignore it. To use it, you need a counter system, rules that override mood. In the next section, I'll show you a simple way to build that system around this new limit. A natural question is, should I rush to max this or balance it with other accounts? Think in terms of order of operations, not perfection. For most late starters, a simple hierarchy looks like this. Step 1. Contribute enough to your 401k to capture the full employer match. The $24,500 rule doesn't change this. It just increases how far you can go beyond it. Step 2. If you qualify, consider funding an IRA, traditional or Roth, up to its annual limit. IRAs can offer more investment flexibility and tax planning options, especially for Roth. Step 3. If you have access to a health savings account and an HDHP, the HSA can be more powerful than even a 401k because of its triple tax advantage. Step 4. With those bases covered, come back to your 401k and ask, how much more of that $24,500 space can I realistically use over the next 12 months? The rule is not a command to ignore every other account. It's a reminder that your main workplace plan now has more room for serious, automated saving. You're building a coordinated system, not chasing a single number in isolation. Let's step back for a moment and talk about what this really means for you. For most of your working life, the system gave you low defaults and vague messages. Save something, get the match, you'll be fine. No one sat you down and said, here's the real number you're allowed to use, here's how it compounds, and here's what happens if you treat it like a ceiling instead of a suggestion. So if you're 45, 52, 58, and feeling behind, it's not because you're broken. You were under-instructed. The $24,500 rule is one of the few moments where the rules themselves hand you leverage. You can look at your current percentage, look at this new ceiling, and decide, as an adult, I'm going to start closing that gap. You don't have to hit the max this year. You do have to stop pretending that 4-6% is doing something if you know it won't get you where you need to go. Your future is not decided by what you didn't do in your 20s. It's decided by whether you use rules like this on purpose in your 40s and 50s. Let's turn this into a concrete reset you can do today. Step 1. Log into your 401k portal. Find your current contribution percentage and your employer match details. Write them down. Step 2. Compare that number to the reality of the $24,500 rule. Rough mental math. Take your salary, multiply by your contribution percent, and see how far that is from $24,500. This gap is your opportunity space. Step 3. Decide on your next move. Maybe it's a 1-2% increase today. Maybe it's a rule. Every raise, you automatically divert half of the raise into your 401k until you're at a target percentage. Step 4. Automate the behavior. Set the new percentage now, not later. Add a calendar reminder for this same month next year. Review 401k percent versus $24,500 rule. Step 5. Tell someone. Accountability matters. And then come back here and leave a comment. What is your current 401k contribution percentage, and what is your new target after hearing about the $24,500 rule? Writing it down turns this from an idea into a decision. You now understand why the $24,500 rule is more than a headline. It's a structural change to how much of your income you're allowed to protect, to grow, and to use as a lever to compress your retirement timeline. If you felt a mix of relief and discomfort during this video, that's a good sign. Relief because there is still room to maneuver. Discomfort because your current settings probably don't match what you now know is possible. The 401k is one pillar of your system. The next videos will build around it. How to use IRA limits, catch-up contributions, and Roth strategies as precision tools, and how to turn your HSA into a quiet, triple-tax wealth engine. If you want to keep building a calm, rule-based retirement strategy for late starters, make sure you're subscribed and notifications are on. This isn't about chasing the latest stock. It's about installing settings that quietly work for you while you live your life. For now, go do your 10-minute 401k reset. Then tell me in the comments, what dial did you just move? And to make this process effortless, we're building the Trip to Wealth Command Center, a Google Sheets system that brings your income, spending, investing, and net worth together in one place. It's your personal strategy hub designed to expose money leaks, highlight growth opportunities, and show how small decisions compound into real wealth. Join the early access list below and secure a discount as an early supporter. Every wealth system needs a strategy. This is where yours begins. Disclaimer: this video is for educational purposes only and does not constitute financial or legal advice. Individual results vary based on personal credit history and circumstances. Always consult a qualified financial professional before making significant financial decisions. And there you have it. The $24,500. Why your 401k limit just changed everything. If you found value today, I highly recommend watching my next video. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Also, feel free to leave your comment below, especially if this video made you think differently. I appreciate your support more than you know. Until next time, stay consistent, stay patient, and stay winning. See you in the next one, Money Magician.